watching News 10 ABC at 9 a.m.
1 week from today, 2 organizations will host a concussion outreach prevention education seminar at Amsterdam High School. It's the Brain Injury Association of New York State and New York State Athletic Trainers Association's way to train anyone who's around student athletes not only how to help a concussed student, but how to help them return to the field and the classroom. Here with me now, Michelle Kellen, the Professional Development Manager for the Brain Injury Association, and Amy Brunel, an athletic trainer and district wellness coordinator at Colony Central High School. Thank you both for coming.
Thank you.
A concussion can be a scary thing for a student athlete, especially one who does not want to be taken out of the game, who wants to return as quickly as possible. But we know that that's not always the smartest thing to do. Talk to me about the protocols.
So what I think is interesting is with having an athletic trainer at your school, you have the opportunity to be the bad guy. I'm here to protect the athlete from themselves sometimes. So when we recognize any signs or symptoms of concussion, we automatically remove them. The coach knows this as well. It's part of state law, actually. And we get them essentially into the protocol. And the protocol has been updated since previously. We used to talk about cocoon therapy, putting them in a dark room, no exercise, no anything. And now we're saying, hey, you know what? The latest research shows that with an athlete and active children, it is actually better to give them a limited amount of activity. And we talk about, symptom evaluation and all these different things that are involved with that. But the big picture is that with the student and the student athlete gets back to activity, lower levels of activity, they're not going out and playing full contact at an earlier date than previously. And that's the biggest change we can see with this protocol.
And we know it's so important for not only the student's immediate health, but long-term, right? Talk to me about what the impacts of an untreated or, a concussion that isn't treated as seriously as it should be.
There's definitely a lot of ramifications that come with that. If they try to power through it, as they say, it can definitely increase their recovery time. It will definitely impact their symptoms and cause those to get worse. And so it's really important to be able to step back, rest, do that little bit of activity, but don't try to get back to sport, because it definitely will make their recovery go longer. And then that also impacts them in the classroom. And when you're looking at juniors and seniors in high school, that really impacts what their what their future in college and things like that could be.
It's such a crucial time for them. So tell me how you're trying to spread the word and how you are trying to get everyone on the same page about what we should be doing and what we should be looking out for.
Well, we've been doing these presentations now. This is our 3rd year that we've been partnering with NYSATA, and we do presentations around the state. We've done over 50 of them, and I think in over 30 to 40 counties around the state. And what happens is we have a medical professional that talks about managing concussions. We have an athletic trainer like Amy who talks about return to sport. And then I'm a former educator, so I talk about return to learn in the classroom. So it's basically how can we help kids both academically and in school. And as we know, we learned this from the pandemic, it's really important to be back in school as soon as possible, even if a period a day, because there's so much social, emotional connections there that relate to them being in school.
And I think it's worth reminding people what the immediate impact of a concussion is. How does a student know? How does the adults around them know that something might be wrong?
There's so many different types of symptoms that occur. The most common one is headache. A lot of people think you have to have a loss of consciousness to have a concussion, and that's not true. Very few concussions that we see on the sport field involve a loss of consciousness. But there's different silos. We have the emotional, we have the social, we have the physical symptoms. So a very common one would be like irritability or headache. And I know that's hard the irritability one, parents are like, well, how am I supposed to know? I have a teenager. But you kind of look at the whole picture. Are they acting differently? Gain their trust and say, listen, you just got hit in the head. Do you have a headache? And I don't give them a yes or no question. I usually say, hey, how bad is your headache? And if they deny it, that's a good sign, but they'll usually tell me the truth when I ask them a more open-ended question rather than a yes-no question.
Absolutely.
So there's so many different symptoms. Headache, pressure in your head, fogginess, dizziness, blurred vision, ringing in the ears. These are all symptoms that will be very common after a blow to the head when an athlete is concussed.
Is there anything else you want people to know about the work that you're doing that we haven't discussed?
No, it's just important to keep up on the current guidelines and what the research says. We're lucky, both Amy and I work with some incredible experts from around the state in concussion, and we learn so much from them. And every 4 years there's a consensus paper that comes out, and so that's where the guidance really changed. So it's really important just to keep up on research. The other thing I would say that's really important is to get to a doctor right away. That's one of the telltale signs about whether your recovery will be longer or not. People who see a doctor within a week of the incident usually have a better recovery. So don't just think it's going to go away or I'm going to feel better in a couple days. Go see the doctor.
Such an important conversation. Thank you so much, Amy and Michelle, for coming in and sharing that with us. We'll be right back after this break.
You're watching News 10 ABC, your local news leader.